what's good, Rebel? What's poppin'?
Echo, where are you, man?
Where am I at? Dude, I'm outside. I'm chilling, bro. It's summertime, baby. It's a nice day out. Just catching some sun, bro. Why? What's going on?
Dude, you know what today is, right?
I mean, it's tanning day for me, bro, but, it's Monday.
Wait. Today's Monday. Is today what I think it is?
Yeah, it's GSL day one. Fans are in Twitch chat are already lined up. They're waiting to get things started. 100 Thieves is about to take off with DK Crew any minute now. We got stories to tell. Get over here.
Oh, okay. Tell you what. All right, I am on my way. I will be there immediately. I'm coming. I'll be there as quick as I can. I'm on my way. I promise. I'll be there. Come on. Oh, ow. Yeah. I'm here. Don't start the show. What's going on, everybody? I've always been here, obviously. I mean, I would never forget. Anyways, welcome to the path to LCS. It is going to be an absolute banger today. I'm just really going to roll with it like nothing ever happened. I'm joined by the one and only my fellow lifeguard, dare I say, Rebel Fox. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great. It's the beginning of summer. We're kicking off our summer PGC. We're able to get all this extra talent coming in. We got new people like yourself joining us for the first time. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you here on the first time on Pat, the LCS, the Twitch channel. Really excited for all the new things kicking off this year.
Absolutely. I'm making a great first impression coming in late. But that being said, right now, we are the lifeguards here. Obviously, our cousins over at Academy, they have their camp counselor stick going, right? We're the lifeguards. We're the cool ones because, you know, we're chilling at the pool, right? It's all nice. It's summertime, baby. But of course, there are going to be some rules. Rule number one, there will be absolutely no running, ghosting, flashing around the pool. You could fall, get hurt. We'd hate to see it. Number two, if you don't want your skin to be looking like, let's just say Rebel's chicken tenders from yesterday that were in the oven for a while, hey, you better be wearing some sunscreen. I'll be checking and making sure. And number three, of course, fun is a requirement, and you shouldn't have to worry about that because we got some bangers cooking up.
We absolutely do. I'm excited to be able to get a nice introduction for the day, but I know before anything else, we just want to make sure everybody is nice and acquainted with what PGCQ is all about. And so we actually have a little video created by one of our own, Mr. Eric, who is able to actually introduce a lot of what this tournament's all about.
Welcome to the Summer Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier number 1, presented by Unify. 32 teams will compete in a 5-round Swiss Open qualifier to decide who will advance to the 16-team group stage. The Swiss format matches teams with the same record against each other as the rounds progress. This means in round 2, the 1-0 teams will play each other, while the 0-1 teams will do battle, and so on. The 16 teams to reach 3 wins by the end of round 5 will move on to the group stage, where they'll be seeded based on their results in the Swiss. Each group will play in a best-of-3 double elimination bracket to decide who will advance to the playoff stage. The playoffs will be single elimination best-of-3 matches up until the grand final best-of-5 series. Teams will earn points based on their overall performance. Here's how the numbers break down. The top 10 amateur teams across both of the Proving Ground Circuit qualifiers will qualify for the Proving Grounds. The Open Qualifiers begins May 23rd. You can check out those games on the Unified Twitch channels, and groups begin May 30th. Which of these aspiring champions will rise to the top in the summer of 2022? Come see for yourself.
All right, now that we get an idea what's going down, a couple of differences you might have already spotted. Obviously, we've got some best of threes going on today. It's not just going to be the one-shot games. No, sir. We're in it for the long haul, but it doesn't matter if we don't know how we even got here in the first place. And our boy Read and Write has cooked something up. And so in respective fashion, I'm gonna try and speed run this myself. So we're going to go ahead and watch Read and Write, not writing, but reading a speed reading of the 80 matches in 80 seconds. Kind of screwed it up, but it doesn't matter. Production, roll the clip.
Hello, I'm Reed. We're going to cover the Ash from 80 games and OQs in 80 seconds with a lot of speed. And I'm so Reed, which we're going to cover speed reading. Let's go! EG Prodigy is only at one stumble at the hands of the number 1 seed, but just like the other team, it's all about the playoffs, baby. Hunter Nix's closest game was their first against DK Crew with a 10k gold lead. They really took to heart Ariana Grande's song, Thank You Next, in their naming process, Richard 5-0. Third party utilized Viego to secure their spot in the top 16 in 4 or 5 games. Sources say much believes this is just a summer fleet. They only repeated 2 champions in 5 games. AoE Ginger Turmeric, which is as versatile as the ingredients they are named after, 3-2. Witch just sported one of the best KDAs in the tournament with Graves, but 100 next stuffed out a cigar in the final game, leaving AoE at 4-1. Jinx Kittens put up a very strong week, only losing at 4-0 finalist AoE Esports in Game 3. It's safe to say these cats have claws meow. Starting 0-2 and then going 3-0, CLG Facial Defense is not just a name. 301, 297 less games than they predicted. That'll do. Team Penny made the top 16, but the results are, well, not in yet. Banana Slamma! Pluto as a planet may not be in the solar system anymore, but its support for Supernova is in this group stage. On the back of Plexus Nautilus, Cincinnati Fear pull out the spot, securing win over some Fruit Basket Warriors of Sunshine, claiming the clouds were in their eyes. Team Fish Taco finished 3-2, which was one win below Taco Game, and once and for all proving that generally every taco beats Fish Tacos by comparison. Maryville, fresh off their finals, brought the college fiestas to the Rift to beat their opponents with experience. They dropped 2 games, but 6 get degrees. AoE Random was just that in the group stage, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Role-playing the coin flip team just to perfection. And this is speed reading with me, Reed. Back to you, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that. Right, read and write. I was gonna say write and read. That would have not been it. That being said, though, oh god, this Rebel, what am I looking at, man? This is confusing to my simple-minded brain here. Please help me.
You're continuing the trend of play-by-plays, not knowing anything or pretending not to know anything, but we obviously know everything that's going on right here. You're seeing the teams that qualified from the Open Qualifier here in their respective groups. Each one of these has 4 teams. Top 2 from each one are going to be able to make it through, so you're just seeing the matchups as they are right now. Group A, Group B on your screens. Obviously, the number 1 seed, 100 Thieves versus DK Crew. Everybody loves the Banana Slammers. Maryville versus Cincinnati Fear as well. Here, rounding out Group A, which we're actually covering right here on Path to LCS.
Absolutely, but those are only 8 teams. We got 8 more to go, and so we do have Group C and D as well. We can take a look here. We've got AoE Esports going up against the 300 and Team Pending versus CLG Faith, and over at Group D, we have EG Prodigies going up against AoE Randoms, Taco Gaming, and Supernova. Those should be covered in the next coming days, and it's going to be a bit of a banger, to say the absolute least, but that's not here nor there, because we need to be focusing on what we've got going on today, and that's going to be the matchup for today. We can see over at Academy, right? We'll let the counselors do that. They're with all the little kids, rounding them all up. No thanks. We got the banger going on, because over at the Path to LCS Academy right here, actually, we have 100 Thieves going up against the one and only. Now, when I say Banana, I'm gonna need you to finish the sentence. I don't even think I gotta tell you. Banana
Slammer.
Let's go, baby. Banana Slammer. That's right. We've got 100 Thieves going up against DK Crew today. It's going to be an absolute banger of a matchup, because it's like you said, we have the number 1 seeded team going up against who was put into the bottom, the bottom of the barrel, man. Just get them out of here, right? 32nd seed DK Crew. They did them dirty. They did.
We'll get a bunch of chances to actually talk about these two, because they're our first matchup of the day before we kick off into Maryville versus Fear Cincinnati, or Cincinnati Fear, as we get into the second matchup of the day once 100 Thieves and DK Crew are off our screens. Once again, right here at Path to LCS. You can check out Jake's Kittens versus Third Party and Ginger Turmeric over on Academy if you're interested, but right here we got the better matchups, of course, on the day. Because how can you possibly ignore DK Crew, man?
Exactly. But let's take a look at what everyone has been saying. We have a little bit of predictions coming up here. I'm just going to throw it out the bat, right? Great minds think alike. You and me, man, we got the same predictions going. We've got Jake's Kittens, we've got Ginger Turmeric, 100 Thieves, and Maryville. A couple of randoms out here with some oddball predictions here, like Travis. I'm not going to say nothing, but, I love DK Crew. I love him to death, but still, I don't know, man. It's interesting to say the least.
It is, yeah. There's some contentious game, obviously. I think that Ginger Turmeric up against Team Fish Tacos is going to be a fantastic matchup. For the most part, though, we're getting some really good looks at some of our top seeds of the tournament. You've got 100 Thieves, who coming in as our previous champions. You got Jake's Kittens, who are, of course, a fantastic roster that was assembled with some really, really high-class talent. Maryville, of course, up against Cincinnati Fear, I think is a little better than any of our predictions will show. I'm certain that's going to be a nice series as well for us here at the LCS.
Yeah, absolutely. But we should focus on the match that is about to be at hand, and that is going to be, like Reese mentioned before, 100 Thieves next going up against DK Crew. Now, the thing is, right, we touched on, obviously, that DK Crew was done a little dirtier in the seeding, right? But I have a quote here from our boy Macho Man Reed and Savage, who straight up said that DK Crew is the, if I'm reading this correctly, undisputed highest momentum team and #1 seed in our hearts. Is that true? Is that facts? Is he spitting straight facts?
Well, let's be real here. Like, walking into this one, being the 32nd seed for a team that's assembled like this, I think it wasn't necessarily a slight against them. We have our algorithm. We have a way of selecting these teams, but they had a lot to overcome. But this is a team that's not kind of, ignorant to competition. Most of these teams that come together, we don't really recognize them. Take a look at this team. Shorter Ace, Savage, Clyde, all of them on Harrisburg University alongside Lawrence, who's on C9 Amateur, C9 Academy for a short time before joining here on DK Crew. And you got that combination with Evan Arrell, who's been in competition the last couple of splits with PG. This was not a team unfamiliar with competitive play by any means. So while 32nd seed walking in, I think a lot of people expected DK Crew to hit above their weight by a significant margin. And that's exactly what they did, taking that top 16 and now up against 100 Thieves for a revenge match. Because again, they played 32nd seed versus the #1 seed. 100 Thieves walked in with it. They played first round of open qualifiers. Actually was a solid game from them coming out. All things considered, we're right there in the gold department for the first 20 minutes. So bound to be another exciting one here to kick off our day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm cooking up a theory. Maybe DK Crew paid Unified off to put them down at 32. That way they're the under. I'm just throwing it in the room. This is my own opinion, obviously. But anyways, yeah, like we talked about, obviously, the match that they had before this. So this is going to be somewhat of a rematch. Now, DK Crew fell a little short in the previous match going up against 100 Thieves. But like you said, it was a pretty damn good game. I mean, it was close, even with DK Crew, I would say, getting a lead at the start as well. Obviously, 100 Thieves didn't end up taking it back slowly but surely. But still, if that's any indication, I have a feeling we have a full-blown series on our hands today.
There's been a lot of changes also since that day because we're on a new patch and everything.
Very
The 100
true.
Thieves, they're walking in as the #1 seed for a specific reason. They're a #1 seed coming out of PG in the previous split. They've got some fantastic talent returning. You got Sniper in the top lane that a lot of people would recognize. Fnatic and Sword both coming back in their respective positions as well. And Insanity and Darkwings played a little bit of a swap-a-roo between themselves and Dignitas Academy as they both switched positions. As now Darkwing sits here as the mid laner for 100 Thieves next. And Lens now sits in the bottom lane as Array has made that climb up to Golden Guardians Academy, being their now starting ADC, which is exciting stuff that 100 Thieves is putting players into the next level, but they haven't really dropped all that much talent. They have a very similar game plan playing around Darkwings, this talented mid laner who came out, had a good split inside of Academy, ready to keep striking, ready to go while the iron is hot, keep that 1 seed, keep all of that going from the previous splits, and I think this is a roster that's capable of doing so very easily.
Yeah, I saw the best comment ever in the chat. Someone straight up hit him with, DK is a college team. You think they have money to pay off Unified?
That's facts, dude.
The flame has already begun, and honestly, I love to see it. And speaking of flame, I'm a little worried for the mental of 100 Thieves if they end up losing this, because the Twitter bombs that are going to be coming out from DK Crew if they end up taking this game are going to be absolutely huge. I mean, if you've been anywhere near their Twitter, you know that it's like we were talking about this right when we were doing a mock run of this. Their branding is crazy, man.
Oh, it's absurd. The only team I've ever seen that's been like a put together team where they're just a group of buddies and things like that was maybe Super Sunshine Fruit Basket Warriors. A call out to them, yet another collegiate squad because they usually represent some of the players from Colombia. But DK Crew has really gone all out on this, and I think they've done a great job. And they've garnered a bunch of support necessarily, like you said, walking it as the 32 seed, coming in as the 16 seed, having all this wonderful branding. It's a tough thing. They've got a bunch of support behind them for this matchup that is stacked against them. 100 Thieves is a damn good team walking into this one, but I'm sure we're in for some exciting games one way or another. If DK Crew can recapture that form of the first open qualifier, at minimum, we're going to get some exciting early games.
Yeah, absolutely. They are at the top of the league for a reason. But listen, we just gotta jump right into the pool. Honestly, screw to being on the sidelines. We ran the safety check through everyone, right? They know what's going on, and we did get brought out of the draft. Something a little fix going on, Prod.
Yeah.
Sprinkling the magic right now, so that gives us just a little bit more time to talk. Like we said, 100 Thieves, bit of a heavy hitter. Where do you think we're going to be seeing kind of the most action going down here?
Mid lane, 100%. I mean, Darkwings is a stud for a lot of reasons. Last split, they employed a similar strategy. Fnatic put a bunch of resource into Insanity being the ex-LCS player for Immortals, and they had Sword doing the exact same thing, and they put all this resource into their mid lane, and they let Sniper do his own thing. I think that was reasonable. Array did his own thing in bottom side. Now look where he's at. He's over in Golden Guardians Academy, and they know how to play this same system over and over again. I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it's a great way to play, and it's relatively unique specifically to 100 Thieves. This is the strategy they employ most of the time. They've got carries sufficient in both top and bot to be able to kind of self-manage themselves. So I expect, as we saw, especially against DK Crew in their first open qualifier game, they're going to be playing into Darkwing just as much as possible with Fnatic and Sword. On the opposite side, of course, DK Crew Shorter Ace was somebody that stepped up really big, and I think Evan RL also stepped up pretty big for them when it came to that open qualifier, when it came to the 100 Thieves matchup specifically. And now that we've had some changes inside of the meta, it's possible Evan gets to step up even more. That there's more of that consistent damage coming out of those two as being the threats for the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also really hyped because normally in most games, I feel like there's always this preconception. Obviously, you got the top island, right? Weak side top, leave them alone, let them do the thing. If ever the camera decides to pan up, it's just farming, right? Maybe like if you're lucky, you get a smidgen of a trade. But with Lawrence in the top lane and Sniper as well, I think things are gonna get heated. I mean, Lawrence, for example, right? This man has what? 8-something years of competitive experience. This man is a heavy hitter. He is no new kid on the block. No. And same with Sniper. My man's been putting up the numbers.
Yeah, these two are so exciting, mostly because we expect carries from both of them, right? The Lawrence isn't the type of the player that's going to take a tank. He's not going to take Maokai or something like that. He usually won't pick the Ornn. If he needs to, he will, but he's not going to do that type of thing. It's the same with Sniper. These aren't players that are going to pick tanks and just sit there and wait for the laning phase, expect a team fight, that kind of thing. The last time we saw these two play in open qualifiers, it was Riven versus Gangplank, which is an absolutely incredible one-to-one matchup that garners some attention from the junglers. So early game, again, these top laners would do a little bit more heavy lifting than normally we would see out of the top lane carry positions that we have in the rest of the tournament. These are two that are absolutely winning. This whole group, actually, if we talk across the board, has a little sneak peek to Maryville, Cincinnati Fear as well. Niles and Dragoon sit in this group. We probably have some of the most high carry top lanes in the entirety of the tournament here inside of Group A. So Sniper, Lawrence are just a precursor to more that we get a little bit later on as well.
Yeah, that's just how we do it over here on Path to LCS, man. We bring out everything for you guys because we're just built different. Which is built different. It is what it is. I do want to touch on something. I want to get your thoughts as I'm pick your brain a little bit. Now, for the side of 100 Thieves, right? Obviously, there's no contest that they are. I mean, they're up there. They're putting up the numbers. They're going crazy. I do want to get your thoughts, though. Obviously, with Darkwing and Lens being slotted in this time around, do you think that's an avenue that is perhaps somewhat exploitable for DK Crew? Or are these guys just so damn tight that it's like the boat ain't rocking?
I think when it came to who filled the position better, Darkwings was filling the role that Insanity had a little bit better, and Lens was having a bit more of an issue, which is fair because, again, it's not often that ADCs tend to get left on an island as much as what 100 Thieves would tend to do. Now, of course, prior to Array showing up at 100 Thieves, he was actually playing on UST, and he was alongside Trevor Roy, and Trevor Roy is very famous for leaving the lane and never coming back, so Array was kind of used to that responsibility. But I think it's going to take a minute for Lens to really kind of get into the minutia of things, and I think that was apparent as well against DK Crew. If I recall, he had 3 deaths, no kills, due to attention that was being provided to the bottom side by Shorter Ace and by other members of DK Crew to make sure that Evan RL was off to a good foot. So expectation, maybe Sword sits around a little bit more in the bottom side if they get some priority, make sure that Lens is on a little bit better of a foot. It might pull some of the resource out of Darkwings to kick off the game, but I think 100 Thieves is perfectly comfortable taking the game and slowing it down just a little bit to make sure their new ADC is better acclimated. But like you were saying, is that an opening for DK Crew? They tried to exploit it last time. I think it worked decently. If they're really able to hammer home that advantage, that's when Clyde gets broken out on the map and he starts to have his effects. That's when Evan RL can start carrying the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't go 5-0 for no reason. That's definitely for sure. And so, you're taking a shot at the king. You better not miss, right? That's how the song goes. And so, DK Crew, God, I mean, the fans are just restless in the chat right now. They're spamming the angry bananas. They're spamming the banana slammer. Absolute respect to them pulling up and showing their support. And we're getting there. I promise. We're going to show off your boys. I promise. We're just waiting for a couple of kinks to get ironed out. Still waiting for it. I'm running out of things to talk about. I'm not even going to lie. I can't keep hyping up DK Crew so much.
I want to hype up Zyle in the chat, because Zyle, I'm pretty sure, is the analyst for the team as well, who's in there kind of slamming home the banana slammers in the chat.
Banana slamming, dude.
Yeah, he was the jungler here this season, most recently for Harrisburg. He's representing the boys right now. That's really incredible stuff to see them out and about just as much as possible. As it sounds like we're getting ready to get into the draft, and we finally kick off the games as fast as possible. As our first one here on Path to LCS is going to kick off very, very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. The DK Crew cannot be contained anymore, neither can the Thieves. So let's get right into it with the draft finally beginning. Oh Lord, this is the beginning of the end for some of these teams. It's always crazy when it kind of hits you with the mental, but you never know. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Your first couple of bands are been coming out here. DK Crew opted to take out the Karma, while 100 Thieves next are taking out the Karth this year. Actually,
it makes a good amount of sense. Last time they played, Shorter Ace kind of went crazy on this Karthus quite a bit in the jungle, so they are definitely putting some respect towards his name as opposed to last time. And in the bottom lane, of course, Sword is he's it's a few splits removed, but he was a mid laner at one time, and Karma's been one of the champions that I think he's looked best on, looked comfortable on, and one of those champions that really does help both in the laning phase for Lens, but also roaming and getting out, making sure Lens is in a comfortable place to be on his own. Makes a lot of sense that they're not going to let that through. And if you see, well, we're continuing this trend of making sure Talia's off the board, powerful champion, but also Gangplank. No Lawrence Gangplank this game either, which is definitely one of his top carries. You can see that sentiment is shared very heavily by DK Crew as they wrap up their bans with the Riven and the Gwen.
Yeah, already, but we're getting a little bit of a run back here, actually, with the Wukong being locked. Now, it's somewhat of a flex pick, so you never know where exactly it's going to go. But if we do end up seeing a rerun, we will be seeing Fnatic piloting that, and he was doing a great job of the butt. Okay, we got the Senna Tom Kench lock from DK Crew. They might just be pulling out all the stops for game one.
And I know you and I talked about this kicking off the entirety of the series. First off, the Wukong not going to the bot lane anymore since the Senna's now gone, and that's one of the big positions. And the expectation usually is that it goes to jungle. But I said to you, Evan RL is a big Senna player. He will pick it on demand if they let it through. And that is exactly what happens. But the response from 100 Thieves prepared immediately. They knew the Senna Tom Kench was definitely on the table for Evan RL and Clyde. What do? They prepped the Kog'Maw Lulu. With the new patch, with a lot of the new changes that have come through, I've seen Kog'Maw Lulu popping back up. The Juggermaw is on full swing right now for this patch. And 100 Thieves bot lane, Lens and Sword, they have prepped it. They are ready and raring to go in this 2v2 up against this insanely powerful champion in Senna.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see that the Grays also getting locked in here from DK Crew. I have to take a guess and assume that is going to be going into the hands of Shorter Ace here. Maybe wrong. Honestly, you never know what to expect. DK Crew, they're crazy, bro. They do all kinds of crazy stuff. So we'll have to wait and see to be sure. But we do see the final bans coming out here from 100 Thieves. They did take the Zoe and the Veigar off the board here. Very mid lane focused. And same kind of thing coming out here from the DK Crew, right? You take Vel'Koz and you take the Swain. Thank God for that. This new Swain is just...
Ooh.
Oh Lord. Oh, okay. The Kled being locked? Kind of big.
That's kind of big, yeah, because it's a potential of, I think APA was the one that did it most, but the possibility of putting a mid lane and making it a roaming champion is something, and as of patch 1210B, which is the most recent patch, the one that we're currently playing on right now, as you can see at the top of your screen, Kled got micro buffed, like a couple of buffs that were necessary for him to actually stay relevant. And so here, DK Crew prepping that one. Maybe it's Lawrence saying he wants something aggressive to play into Sniper, and this is what he finds as being one of the champions that's capable of doing so, which is a pretty exciting revelation to come out from DK Crew this early in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, looking like maybe even we get in the Kog'Maw mid, actually, as we do see Lens locking in the Aphelios here, and now we do see the top lane pick coming out here. It's going to be the Aatrox, so I'm pretty certain we will be seeing Fnatic once again running it back on the Wukong in the jungle here as we wait for DK Crew's final pick, and then we can start talking about these compositions, waiting for them to show their hand. They're really gonna make me wait, bro. They doing me like that, bro. Come on, bro. You got 6 seconds. Lock it in. Come on, get to it. 3,
man.
2.
No.
What? The Azir? Okay,
so like way back in the day, back when like I just started playing the game, these were two champions that got picked in the mid lane quite quite consistently. The Kog'Maw AP, like the poke damage, was one of the counters. Now, it's been a long time since like mid lane Kog'Maw has really been a consistent thing. With like the Liandry's getting a little bit better with all this additional durability, some of this additional poke. You saw the Vel'Koz was taken off the board as one of these kind of longer range champions. The same with like the Zoe and the Veigar, who have some of this range to work with. They opt for the Kog'Maw mid lane flex potentially to come in here. And I do wonder if they go for the AP, just because again the range is difficult for the Azir to deal with. Is another champion that again picked up a little bit of steam with the Liandry's coming through as being a little bit better with some of the poke. I wasn't sure exactly how that mid lane was going to land. To me, it's one of the most complex pieces of the newest patch, trying to figure out what mid laners everybody's going to play. But we're getting
enormous
a crazy matchup to start things off with the Kog'Maw Azir combination.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, oh Lord, I'm sweating, and I'm not even the one playing, bro. It's like it's gonna be a bit of a banger. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to throw some emphasis on the ball lane right now because like we said, right, 100 Thieves next did expect the pickup here on the Senna from Evan RL, right? Because like you said to me, especially even before that, he's a prolific Senna player. If they leave it open, he picks it up, and they hit him with the Aphelios Lulu. Are you worried for DK Crew's bot lane?
Not specifically, I don't think. Like it's a really hard bot lane to try to breach for a lot of reasons. This has been the most consistent pairing with Senna for a long time. Senna's a very powerful champion, even after some of the nerfs that she sustained as of this 1210B micro patch that had come through as a result of some of the strong champions on this patch specifically. And so the Aphelios and Lulu, it feels like a double scaling lane where both lanes, if you're going to have impact, it's likely going to be because of jungler or because, of course, the Tahm Kench making a move. So I still favor DK's bottom lane, at least in the pure 2v2, not for kill pressure, but more so just because it's very difficult for the Aphelios to win things out very significantly of his own volition.
Yeah, definitely. I do feel like looking at the teams, it is scale o'clock right now, looking at both of these teams. I'm curious to see how they end up piloting around here, but I'm Sniper in the top with the Aatrox. Since they did take away his ribbon pick, it would have been so cool to see the run back with the ribbon and then like give him the gameplay as well, but they were like, no, we don't want to see none of that. But I mean, we talked about it before at this matchup. We have Lawrence on the Kled going up into Sniper with the Aatrox. It's going to be a bit volatile up there. I'm not going to lie.
This is a bit of a mean matchup. Like, I'm a little surprised that the opt was for the Aatrox into this one, because I know the Kled has both consistent kind of damage with percentage health procs on those vicious strikes, as well as having heal cut with his Q coming through. If he hits Bear Trap on a rope and you don't get that same kind of healing, it's a little difficult for Aatrox, especially if the Kled gets snowballing, to really do all that much in the individual lane. So expectations here, again, are very interesting, because typically we expect 100 Thieves to play into mid lane. We expect them to play into what Darkwings is going to be going for. But if he's playing this Siege Engine Kog'Maw, there's really not all that much he's going to be able to follow up on unless you have level 6-4 Fnatic. So expectations actually might be that you try to sway the bottom lane, try to sway this top lane, and Darkwings is left alone a little bit.
All right. Oh, okay. So we are... there we go. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a different draft. So we got baited. We got baited a little bit. We got baited a little bit. Yeah.
Classic.
So, okay, let's run through. So already we're seeing some differences here. So the mid lane, Darkwing's going to be picking up the Ahri, and the Aphelios was just thrown out. Get him out of here. Just get out of here.
That was a solid prank from our production team. I'll give that one to you guys. You guys strike first on the season. Trust me, I will get you back for that one. But yeah, Ahri coming in, I think, makes this a lot more... It makes a lot more sense in all things considered, because I was so confused why they went for double ADC. But now, the Ahri coming in, the same champion that had actually run in their first matchup, you still have the ability to play into it. It was Fnatic and Darkwings that popped off in that first game. They still have two lanes that could be affected very heavily with this Wukong. Once the Ahri is working out, the Ahri can do the same thing. And this plays a lot more to the kind of stylistic idea that I thought that 100 Thieves was going to be going for in the first place as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh lordy, though, why bother look at the draft when we can just get into the damn game itself? And so let's load it right onto the Rift. Just kidding. We're not gonna make you wait, because we're on the Rift right now, and already it looks to me like DK Crew they're roaming together as a crew. We might be seeing something go down here. A little bit of bloodshed early on. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Ooh. There's actually no one in mid lane either. Nobody stepped out into that position, because the Lulu, if you notice, Sword actually wanted priority on the bottom lane to make sure nobody was going to be there. Fnatic thankfully was able to catch wind of this. He's not going to get pushed off, but it's not going to matter all that much. But could have been something right there. So DK Crew obviously coming out with some level 1 plan. Again, having all had experience in competitive and collegiate previously with one another. Even Evan RL, I think pairing with Clyde is something that he's done in the past, even in scouting grounds and proving grounds type tournaments previously back in 2020. They have some idea of how they want to play out the game. The combination of these players, prepping level 1s like this, again, not something we consistently see from 32nd ranked seeds coming into a tournament like this, but you can see that DK is built differently for a reason.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like seeing we got that 3-man TP coming out here actually from DK Crew. So they're really just going to be, once that 15-minute mark hits, they're going to be everywhere on the map. So many opportunities for them to just kind of pop out behind you, be like, yes, hello, we're here to end you.
I love this right here as well, because Sword and Lens can now play very aggressively. Because of the ward that you drop down there with the potential invade coming through from DK Crew, not really panning out, means the Lulu and the Kog'Maw, who will have some solid range to work with, have quite a bit of poking potential. Sword also went for the Ignite as well to try to reduce some of the healing that can come through from Evan RL if they go for an all-in engagement. Kog'Maw is very powerful, able to respond in a bunch of meaningful ways as well.
Yeah, definitely. We see, meanwhile, Shorter Ace right in that top side, going to be clearing that out. Our usual just here, double top, a start, slowly but surely patting themselves down. Evan RL, just a little bit of trading coming out here, though. Sword already down to half HP. I feel like Clyde, he's just itching for that level 2, man. He's just waiting.
Definitely wants it, but he's falling behind in farm, which is one thing, and it's a problem with this bottom lane is the ticking time bomb that is the Cogmog gets going. You know how hard it is for Lawrence and for Clyde to try to play some of the front line when this Cogmog, who hasn't really been around all that much, has the ability to play this this W, this like on hit type style to get a bunch of % health damage into these front-loaded frontliners. So like that means Clyde will be in some dire straits if it gets to the team fighting phase and they haven't done anything to affect Lens. And you can see the ramifications of what happened with that level 1. They got the ward, they got some early pushing. Lens and Sword both putting a bunch of damage into these two. They had wave control comparative to what Evan RL and Clyde have been able to the point where they're not even level 2 yet. They're still waiting on the ability to do that. You notice shorter aces on the bottom side, but it probably won't matter that much because Fnatic is down here as well, able to respond if the gank were to come in.
Yeah, I was going to say, right now, it seems Sword and Lens were kind of in that pristine opportunity there for Shorter Ace to come down and try and make something happen, but they do end up backing off, actually looking to go for the quick back. Like, yeah, Fnatic would have been in this bot side as well in case something was going down. Nice ward did get dropped there, but does get spotted out by the vision cone, so at least they got an idea where Fnatic's chilling now.
Yeah, played by Savage to be able to get that ward down, not going to fall victim, and with all the early damage to Dark Wings.
Charm does come out, but the Sharima soldiers, the 1-2, the real, they're the real ones, bro. They're just chilling. They're like, come on, step up to the wave and see what happens, bro. You're not going to like it.
And you can see like the early kind of effect the Azir has with this Comet, with like the eventual like Meandries to come through, means the early trading is there against most mage types. Back when he was in meta a couple months ago, when that was around, or I think even last year when he was around, this was one of the big values that the Azir had, rather than being that late game DPS. And you could see that coming through to the point where Fnatic actually has to jump in and make sure you can get the full reset with the Ahri. It's going to allow Darklings to get his health back, the Corrupting Potion with the Doran's Ring, hopefully make this laning phase a little bit more stomachable, because Savage so far has been playing this Azir matchup very well.
Yeah, absolutely. See the TP coming out here from Savage to get back into that mid lane, get back into the action. Now we're slowly but surely seeing the backs coming out here from the DK crew. And so at the moment, really just not too much going down here. I expected a little bit more aggression, but we are early on, so, you know, it's still going to take a minute to ramp up.
Yeah, and you can see that like Lens and Sword are going to hold this wave. They're going to let it slow push towards Clyde, who actually hasn't gotten a back off yet. And that means if Fnatic were to find his way down to the bottom lane, I know it's not the easiest lane to dive, but if they were going to try to set it up, this would be how you do it. Because Clyde basically has no opportunity for a back timer. It also makes sense to go for a dragon here, because again, you will not have any wave control with the Senna not wave clearing, with the Tahm Kench having to do that with no extra back timer. Pay attention to that, see whether or not Fnatic decides to go for some of the bottom lane play, and what the response is in time from Shorter Ace, whether he decides to do something about that sooner rather than later, as you can see him path towards the bottom side.
Yeah, indeed. First drag on the map as well is going to be the X-Tech Dragon, so going to be an interesting, as long as it's not Cloud Soul, I'm quite happy, honestly. I'm gonna just say how it is.
Yo, hey, yo, what? We're getting Cloud slanted this quickly into the tournament? Goodness gracious.
Listen, man, it's just how it be, man. It's how it be. But it also be that Fnatic and Shorter Ace have once again both found themselves in this somewhat of a bot lane here, and maybe we see some movement coming out already. Gonna have to wait and see as Lawrence just barely gets out of that chain. That could have spelled disaster for him if he got pulled back by that. Fnatic just not quite sure if he wants to start the drag up just yet. Is gonna opt not to, and instead gonna look to see if maybe he can find something here. But with that next cannon wave shoving in, it's not looking too good of a situation for him right now.
And actually, off that back that had been used, Darklings was able to shove in mid to make sure that Savage wasn't able to move out of mid lane. Right here, actually burns the entire ultimate, burns his entire mana bar to make sure that the Azir is pushed back, so that there's no push in mid, no push in bottom. Shorter Ace would be on his own if he decides to go for Dragons. Instead, if he yield that objective to 100 Thieves, playing that bottom wave perfectly. This was like a minute of setup that they had in terms of wave control, just paying attention to the Dragon. Really, really good communication. 100 Thieves, like we said, I think you put it perfectly. They're number 1 seed for a reason. That right there, a pretty good example of it. They kind of know exactly what they want to do on the map. Everybody is all in kind, capable of all winning for objectives like this. And again, another setup where like Darkwings took control of that wave, dumped a little bit of CS, but it's nothing too not manageable for against this Azir matchup, and was able to generate that first dragon for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment they saw Shorter Ace running up, they're like, hey, free drag, thanks a lot. We'll be taking that one. Sneak on in. Well, not even sneaking. They just took it. They're like, go ahead. Let's see what you got. Try and come and stop us. Nothing coming out from a huge wave coming in here. This sniper, though, is going to be soaking up a lot of that XP from this. And overall, I can feel it, man. A fight is brewing. They're all like handshaking the farm right now or whatever, and they're all acting nice. But once the curtain's drawn, it's gonna get nasty.
Fnatic's the one that might actually break the seal here on this matchup, because Fnatic is ready for it.
Oh yeah, he's waiting. Look at that. He's inching. He's ready to hop over that wall. The moment he just gets a little bit closer, there we go. Goes over the wall. Gonna try and find something here, but Evan, RL, and Clyde with the sixth sense. They're like, something's going down, and so they are gonna back off.
Oh, it was even better because he was 1 minion off of 6. They prepared for that as well, but unfortunately they caught him right as he was walking into the lane. If he had used that W or flashed after the W to try to get in and they had killed the minion to focus it down, and he hits level 6, maybe they generate that, or maybe they burn like summoners of some kind from Evan and Clyde. But again, because that 1 minion had died a little bit late because they caught the vision, were able to get away, just didn't lead to anything. With very defensive posturing from Clyde and Everell, able to overcome an attempted gank from Fnatic.
Yeah, now we are seeing that cross map coming out from TK Crew, right? The moment they see Fnatic in that bot lane, Short A is moving right into Fnatic's jungle, grabbing that blue buff, and actually going to look to grab themselves. This Herald here should be pretty free. A lot of pings are coming out from 100 Thieves, so they might just try to find something here. Fnatic doing his best to get over to the river as quickly as possible, and now we really might see the seal broken. Actually, TK Crew opting to back off here. Herald will reset, yeah, so at the end of the day, no one should be getting, unless Fnatic actually just, oh no, they're deciding to go. Shorter Ace has no idea. Shorter Ace, come back, please.
So the problem here is that like the wave had gotten reset from top, which was one of the big things that DK Crew had, and second, the first move from Lens and from Sword, having this particular push and having had that gank earlier from Fnatic into Evan, RL, and Clyde, pushing them off their wave, meant that they got to move faster, and they were already established into the river. So you have to fight as this Tom Kench Senna combination with the rest of your team into my apologies, this Kog'Maw and Lulu combination.
Yeah.
You never want to do something like that, and they don't bother. They understand the objective is lost. Instead of throwing at it, there are a number of teams that would have absolutely tried to fight that, force their way into the river somehow, especially since they had Savage pushing in mid against Darkwings, but they weren't feeling comfortable. Instead, again, the experience of these players in competitive showing once again, ensuring that they're not going to make a decision that's going to cost them the game this early. Instead, they just yield that Rift Herald over. Fnatic say, all right, drop it somewhere, continue to get gold, we'll pick our moment when it comes.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, just they're buying their time. They're planning. The moment it's time to strike DK Crew, they're gonna banana slam her right for the throat. But but for now, still nothing going on. 10 minutes. Come on, I want to see some action. Let's get something going here.
Yeah, of all the games that you could have picked for amateur to kick off, and that we could have picked to kick off for Path to LCS, unfortunately, you have to be in the one where we are 10 minutes into the game with no action and really nothing kind of boding for action to show up in the future. I think Fnatic has got to be the one that you can pay attention to. Lawrence might break that mold right here, right now, because he's close to Meganar.
Ooh, yeah, he's trying to find it. Does get hit up with the Dark Blade knockup, though, but a lot of damage still coming out. He's about to go big. He's a big boy, and he's getting mad. But under snipers, he is going to go ahead and just back off. Doesn't want to, not try to make your first move here dying.
Not it is not. You can see everybody's just leveling up slowly. The Umbral Glaive already finished for Short Race, means he's got a good amount of burst damage at any non-armor members. Full build, basically. The important part is that he's got vision control. I'm a support player, so I like vision control, and that's the best part of the item. So, I mean, Short Race can play even more kind of defensive for his lanes by removing some of the aggressive vision that might allow Fnatic into positions where he can better get into an angle against Evan, RL, and Clyde on the bottom side of the map, maybe the Azir in the mid lane as well. That are otherwise difficult, because you can look at this map and it's like, okay, you've got Tom Kench Senna on the bottom side, you've got a Gnar in top who's got the leap and the flash still available, you've got Azir who can shift. Bottom side's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, that cycle does get dropped though until the flash coming out from Clyde as well to get out of that one because of the blast mist. Yeah, Darkwing is here, the dash comes in. Do they have the damage? Oh, they do indeed. The first blood gonna go to Darkwings, and they're gonna get a second one as well. Shorter Ace and Savage a bit late to the party. They will grab the kill on Fnatic at the very least. A valiant sacrifice as Rifto crashes into the turret, giving him a couple of platings as well, and overall they will go 2 for 1.
Finally able to force their willpower into the bottom lane. Fnatic has been looking for this for so long in this game, and eventually they get the play into the Senna and Tom Kench. They're able to get this bottom lane rolling to some extent. The one problem, DK Crew did get a response. They got Savage to come down, they got Short Race to show up in time, they got the one response kill, and the biggest thing, a lot of members lost a lot of health, especially Lens, and it means that Short Race is going to be able to even the dragon count this early in the game. But the early gold advantage, the Rift Herald gives the plates off bottom lane, you might be able to break out very quickly this Kog'Maw and this Lulu from the bottom lane to get them more involved across the map, get them involved with this Wukong for some fighting potential, especially around the second Rift Herald, if they can break that bottom tower.
Yeah, absolutely right. Kog'Maw already having those Berserker Greaves and a Vamp Scepter, so he's going to be a bit of a force to reckon with, and Darkwing's picking up a nice little 3 stacks here for his Dark Seal. I like that. Dark Wings with the Dark Seal. There's a little play going on there.
It's something else. I mean, last time that they played, I think he went like 3-0-2 to kick off the game. I think eventually he was 5-1-2. So belief in the ability, not to mention, again, with the durability patch, it's a little harder to kill people as assassins. So here, maybe just wants to patch up some of the difference in damage with that the upgraded version of the Dark Seal, getting into the stacking and getting into the high AP with the Magi's coming in the mid lane is a possibility. Again, this is also possible that he just has that for some additional sustain in the laning phase, some additional AP as he makes some plays around the map. Because again, as soon as he's out of mid lane with Fnatic, that's when this team gets dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw, right, just that little roam itself into the bot lane. It was just perfectly executed. You got Fnatic going over the wall, and Dark Wings is there for the cleanup. He goes up from behind. They don't see him coming. Boom, bam, gets the 1 and the 2, and gets on out like it was absolutely nothing. They lose Fnatic, but hey, it's a good hero story. You go down and swing it.
This is actually very similar, if I recall, to what happened in their open qualifier match, because I'm pretty sure the first 5 kills were all between Fnatic and Dark Wings. First 7, I think Dark Wings was a part of, and the majority of those were Fnatic and Dark Wings being inside of a play at one given time. Now Dark Wings, all of a sudden, also having a lot better trade potential against Savage with some of the early plays. Has the Everfrost prepared, so if he's able to land a Charm, able to land some amount of CC, things go very poorly for Savage, even with the Merc Treads completed.
Yep. Oh no, Sniper, don't take the bait, bro. Don't take the bait. Don't fall for it. The World Ender does get dropped, but the smokes are coming out here. They're trying to find something, but just too much healing coming up from Sniper. He's a big boy, and Lawrence is not. He's quite small. He's doing a whole lot of damage. Can he try and get to here? He's so close. He's so close. The chain, no, the hop, dude. The hop over him, and so he might survive. Just kidding, because Fnatic is here. We'll go down once again.
Okay.
If you get one kill, Shurima Shuffle. No, it misses. And the Everfrost will seal the deal for Lawrence as he goes down the Dark Wing. Savage, last man standing, trying to find something. The Shurima soldiers, though, they're doing work. Sniper needs to back off the Q. Doesn't quite come back. Won't find the true damage. And now Savage, not Sniper. Actually, Sniper is in a bad spot as well, really. Not a lot of HP to his name. If Savage can get some soldiers there, can't quite find it, though. And so overall, will back off, but they grab a couple of kills.
What a back and forth between the two right there. DK actually, it kind of looked at the beginning of that play like Lawrence and Shorter Race were just completely outmatched in that top side. But the big ramifications of this are, despite the play from DK having more members go to top side, they lose the kill count, and this bottom lane continues to get bared down on by this bottom lane who continues to win. You can see right here, the Divine Sunder on the new patch for the 8th round, making him insane. Look at this healing going through. I feel like they didn't do any damage to him. He's full health after dropping to half over the course of this one. And they're both squishy. They're both running for their lives here to make sure they can get out. This was where it was miraculous. Fnatic could only find the 1 alongside the play, and Sniper got it basically solo as opposed to anything else. So close with Savage to turning this into a 2-for-2 in the grand scheme of things, grabbing a kill for himself. If that shuffle had hit, it would have changed things. But again, the grand sweeping revelation of this, the 2-for-1 top side, that's great, but bottom lane, tower's gone. Len's got all 5 plates. The Kog'Maw really starting to become a problem now for DK Crew.
Yeah, absolutely. I could have sworn that I read in the patch notes that healing was reduced. I'm feeling a little lied to right now after seeing what Sniper just did to him. But we'll go with it. But yeah, like you said, right, Len's in the bot lane, grabbing all of those plates. It's going to be absolutely huge for him. We do see him grabbing the Blade of the Ruined King as well, and so he's just going to be even more of a menace on this Rift.
And now you can see that they're swapping lanes for it to make sure that Lens can continue to put pressure across the map. Not to mention, having those 2 on top side mean they swap faster into top river, my apologies, for second Rift Herald when the time comes. You can see Shorter Ace, now Evan RL, they got caught on wards, and they wanted to make a play here, I think. They've got 4 members, but there's no way they're going to be able to breach into the river effectively enough with the Rift Herald being as low as it is right now, especially since Ahri can move very quickly as opposed to Azir. That means Rift Herald number 2, going over to the side of 100 Thieves next, who have just really, really been on hard lockdown of everything that they can, getting things off the map as fast as possible. DK Crew, they're down 3k gold. They're down multiple objectives. They're going to be down even more here when the Rift Herald comes through. It looked pretty close, but slowly and steadily, 100 Thieves has been able to garner advantage after advantage after advantage. That's really put them into an amazingly controlling position in this game.
Yeah, it kind of feels like 100 Thieves was like, yeah, we're just ramping up right now. Get what you can, do what you can now, because if you wait too long, it'll be too late. Rift Herald, so close. Will still get the crash in, but does get taken down. The placement, not the most superb at the end of the day. Hate to see it. Rest in peace, Shelly. It was nice knowing you. And now Lens and Sword. Yeah, we need to be careful. Clyde and Evan are here to protect the turret, but they're not looking too enthusiastic about going for the 2v2 here. And so they are just going to grab the minion wave and have Lens and Sword fall back.
And right now, you have a lot of players around Savage right now. I think they were looking to push in this wave, potentially go for a tower or a kill. But the big thing is that Rift Herald combined with the bot lane push that had come through from Sniper allows them to go for the second dragon of the game for themselves. And since nobody else show up the top side, they're fine just pushing against Evan, RL, and Clyde once again. And they're 3 powerful members here. They've got multiple kills basically on every single member on the top side of the map. You don't want to skirmish that if you're Lawrence with the wave shoved in. If you are a Savage who took a good amount of health and didn't have complete control of the wave there as well. Had to play very defensively to make sure nobody was going to go down in kind of all this transition phase. And that leads to 100 Thieves with their second dragon of the game. Still with this gold advantage, still with the scaling Kog'Maw, they're still menacing pretty much no matter what the circumstance here.
Yeah, Evan and Clyde are looking to bridge the gap slightly by grabbing that top tier 1. Should be able to do it. Darkwing's just looking. He's like, oh, hello, can I do something here? Not looking too likely. Getting a little bit of damage out, but is going to have to fall back here. Doesn't want to be handing over those Dark Seal stacks to just anyone, you know? You gotta know the person. Take me out on a date first before I give you my Dark Seal stacks.
Oh, that's a wonderful way of phrasing that. I love that we're on path to LCS with that joke to start things. Mr. Echo, that is exactly what we're looking to embody here for the Summer of Fun. Exactly. Actually, Summer of Fun. That's Clyde on his own.
Dude, Clyde's about to not have fun, dude. The Cyclone is ready, and so just wait for him. There we go. Does get dropped. The flash coming out with the shield as well, but it just does not matter. So much damage coming out. Lawrence is in this backline, but he's not big just yet, so he needs to wait a little bit. Charge up that Gnar bars just a little bit more savage. They get taken low as well. The TP coming out from Sniper, and so now it's about to just be an absolute bloodbath here for this top tier 1. Both teams looking to try and find something, trying to find the poke. Collateral damage actually being popped here to try and force 100 Thieves to back off from the turret, and it is going to be successful. No minions there as well, and they back off for now.
Easy enough to actually come through. Looks like mid tower went down in the process as well, so not the tower I think they were looking for, but something as Savage gets into a little bit more scrappiness.
It's got to dash away to the soldiers. Pretty close there. Needs to definitely be careful. Sniper and Darkwings. Even Sword, they're all just chill. They want this turret so badly, dude. They are just waiting. But the health bars maybe a bit too low there. This might not be a fight that you win if you do end up taking it. Yo, the monkey emote, let's go!
They leaned into it very, very heavily to start with here. Just trying to grab that last outer tower, start to push forward this vision, and start to really give Fnatic some of these angles to start flanking from. DK crew, do not give it up. Just nice. Forces resets out of everybody. You got about 3 minutes, so a bit of time before the setup around this next dragon has to start being considered from both teams, because that will be soul point from 100 Thieves. And I think that's part of the reason why they want to make sure they've got all their setup necessary for what will be this next potential dragon to come through. If they have to fight for it, I think they're willing to do so with the champions and the gold advantage you can see on the left side of your screen that they've got so far. Because DK, it feels so heavily like DK are trying to mitigate as much loss as they can, but they haven't made any real aggressive play to take control of this game. They're hoping that the Senna and that the the Graves potentially with some of the lethality might be able to one-shot things like the Ahri or the Kog'Maw in the right circumstances, but we haven't really seen anything like that would give us hope that would absolutely be the case. So I expect DK crew actually to throw a punch here soon enough, because I think if you wait till hyper late game and you can't actually get those kills to come out instantly from the penetration of the early lethality coming through, you just lose so much agency in a game like this. So maybe next dragon, that's where DK crew really wants to fight.
Yeah, because I feel like so far, it's like DK crew has just kind of been like, okay, we're just going to wait for the perfect opportunity, wait for him to slip up, but 100 Thieves next don't slip up.
No.
You don't catch them lacking, bro. That's not how this thing works. You gotta make something happen into this team, because they've shown us with their coordination, just their map movement. Oh, actually, speaking of that, Lawrence about to get caught slacking if he's not careful. Trade's coming out here. Lawrence doing actually a bit of damage on his own. We did see that the Everfrost did get dropped, but other than that, not too much coming out of it. And now we are seeing DK crew once again looking to patch that gold gap by grabbing this tier 1 in the mid lane. Don't quite have the damage for it though, and the Cyclone coming out as well, but did get rooted, and so not quite gonna find what they were looking for.
Yo.
Okay. Oh, hey, you bait out the Devourer. That's big.
You? Cyclone.
Oh, whoa! A lot of damage coming out there. Shorter is gonna pick up that kill actually onto Lens. Rest in peace. And there we go. That might just be the punch that they needed.
And this is what I've been waiting for, because again, whenever RL goes for this Umbral Glaive, when you go for the Umbral Glaive on the Grave, you have this early lethality as a power spike alongside the Eclipse and even another serrated Dirk to pop the no armor Kog'Maw on the other team, to pop the no armor Ahri on the other team. And if they do that, a lot of the damage gets removed, a lot of the range range gets removed in terms of their ability to affect the Senna in a fight, the Graves in a fight, the Azir in a fight, who's really there to shred through the tanks, anyway, in his own regard. And it worked finally for the first time. They're able to catch the nice W from the Senna. You can see that the Azir tower bodes off any play from 100 Thieves. This timer was already a little bit strange. I think they were trying to catch them right as the Dragon was spawning to get true control. And right there, again, that combination of ults with that CC, able to bring down the Kog'Maw from a pretty high health bar. So nice play from DK Crew. They're still working around the Azir tower to make sure that the wave isn't going to come in, because again, I think they really want to take a full engagement around this Dragon.
Yeah, definitely with this next drag on the line. This would put Soul Point for, should put 100 Thieves onto Soul Point, excuse me. And so they're definitely going to be looking to grab this one. DK Crew, though, not a lot of, oh, maybe do they look for the trade, actually?
There's almost no way they can get that, because it's not a DPS Azir either. There's no there's no lethal tempo, there's no Nashor's Tooth. They can't do anything like that. So again, waiting for this proper punch to come through. They found the Kog'Maw, wasn't quite enough to get them the setup they wanted, weren't quite able to get the mid push that they needed to get into the river, and so they call it off again, patient, waiting for the fight that they're looking for. 100 Thieves, again, despite the one little hiccup right there when they went for that fight underneath the mid tower, looking to really close off the game, because again, if they win that fight and they get the Dragon, forces DK Crew into a very rough situation where they are forced to fight on the terms of 100 Thieves. Now they get that again in 4 minutes, but at least DK Crew did prove that they could kill off one of the members with this lethality coming out. So again, 4 minutes from now, that timer is going to come through. DK Crew has to decide when their time to strike is, because if they're going to find a timer, it's probably got to come before that.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Though you're stacking this Mountain Dragon, so that's going to make any shredding potential coming out from Shorter Ace, from Evan, from Savage, that much harder, because you got to punch. First, you got to punch through that shield, you got to punch through the armor, and so it's definitely going to be tricky. And yeah, DK Crew got to start throwing some bananas around, man. We got to see some banana slammers coming out here, because right now they're dancing to the tune of 100 Thieves.
They are. Which is not what we want to see. This team is exciting. They write their own tunes. They write their own scripts. I don't want to see it. So at minimum, I want to see them take one really solid attack at 100 Thieves, which I get. Anticipating this probably has to come around the Dragon that's coming up in just a little bit of time. The question is whether 100 Thieves cares, because they could always, with their Kog'Maw, just run it Baron and say, okay, we'll treat you Dragon for Baron and fight you on our own terms. So it feels like they have a lot more control over how the fight's going to go, which is why I always like, when you've got a composition like this, taking an earlier attacking stance against 100 Thieves to make sure that you are the ones that are dictating when a fight's going to happen, because now 100 Thieves gets to pick. Do we force them up to Baron area? Do we force them into Dragon if we've got control of Dragon? Do we not take either fight and we just wait them out and continue to scale ourselves, because we're the ones with the Kog'Maw, we're the ones with like all this additional engage with like the Aatrox and the Wukong. They kind of get to start making decisions for themselves that DK Crew don't get to respond to.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. We see once again that Lawrence and Sniper have found themselves in the time old little trade 1v1 there in that bot lane. They're going to be staring each other down, and we have the rest of DK Crew pushing through this mid lane, maybe eyeing Baron a little bit here. The 4-man roaming around, but it's just they don't have the quickness I feel that they need if they want to just rush this thing. Dark Wings as well. He's watching. Can't quite get that control war. You hate to see it.
If they've got all 5 members, they do have Gnar, who's got Hyperprocs. They've got a very strong Azir who went Rabid on second item for some additional AP.
Damn.
And they've got 2 Marksmen as well as the tank to tank it, because of course the Tahm Kench is capable of soaking that damage really effectively for them. DK Crew has a good Baron, right? Like, it's not a question. It's just that you don't want to have to expend all your resources into Baron to take it as fast as possible if 100 Thieves is there for a counterpunch. And that also requires Lawrence to be there ahead of time, and usually he wants to flank, do something else, doesn't want to put all of his attention elsewhere. So again, my attention is always going to bottom river. You saw the setup got shoved out a little bit by DK. Some of the vision is still remaining there. It's a question of where they want to muscle out vision, because they want to make sure the Baron isn't really a threat from 100 Thieves around the Dragon, but they also can't really give up the Dragon, because then Mountain Soul comes in, and like you said, it's so much harder to really get some of that additional damage and get those one-shots onto the Kog'Maw that you would want before the Lulu can start to keep them alive forever inside of a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if that Baron went into the hands of 100 Thieves, that would be absolutely detrimental. Just the siege potential coming out from, for example, Lens would be huge. It's like your turrets are up, and then it's like all of a sudden, a turret has been destroyed. And you just look around, it's like all your tier 2s are gone. You're like, what's going on, man? It's like, hi. Lens will just be like waving, like, yeah, that was me. That was me.
I can really appreciate, actually, that Lawrence has gone for, like, a really solid item choice, because I don't like talking about items most of the time, but I think this was a really good one. Is going Anathemas and putting it onto Lens to make sure that the Kog'Maw doesn't just rip through him if he goes into frontline, right? Because if you're Gnar and you build an armor item, like, you can get shredded by Darkwings, you can get shredded by Lens still. And if you build Magic Resist, you're probably just trolling, because you will still get ripped through by the Kog'Maw one way or another. But here, you go for direct damage reduction by 30% onto the Kog'Maw to make sure if he jumps in and finds a good ultimate, he doesn't just die immediately if he misses the Kog. Because if he gets all four of the rest of the team into the wall, and they can kind of one-shot people with maybe Savage coming in or Shorter Ace hitting a big ultimate alongside it to hit all the members of the team, it's possible they can still win out a fight like that, even if Kog'Maw isn't tagged onto, if Lawrence is still there to soak them damage. So the Anathema is really useful in that regard, ensuring that the Kog'Maw's damage is reduced specifically.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, just a staring match right now in this mid lane. DK crew, if they are looking to throw the punch right now, the guard of 100 Thieves is just too damn good. He's got him up. You can't go for the chin right now. Trying to chin check him. Can't find it, though. A little bit of trades coming out of here. Dark Wings definitely needs to be careful, but not quite going to find anything. And now with this drag up, we might finally just get to see the battle we've been waiting for. 100 Thieves, if they take this, they will get Soul. So there's literally no universe where DK crew want to let that happen. And so they are going to try and find something. But look at that. They're already being pushed back. Savage is getting poked down. And so if they're not careful about it, they might end up losing this fight. Now, Fnatic is somewhat low. And oh my god, the Cyclo coming out with the Shurima Shuffle to back him off. We just see Ultimate coming out from Evan RL. And there we go. First pick coming down. Sniper doing his best to try and make them back off by knocking him up. But will go ahead and grab himself that dragon. So they do delay the soul. The missile dive comes in. Won't quite find the knockup though on Sniper. Just a tad bit too short. And Clyde actually almost going down to the ignite. Sniper looking to move in. He's looking to end things here. Pops the World Ender. Goes for one. Finds Shorter Ace. They grab two. And you're playing to the sound of 100 Thieves fiddle as they grab themselves the third kill.
Oh, it's so sad from DK crew because they do so much right here. They use the Azir tower forward to get them pressure into River. They're kiting backwards. 100 Thieves go onto Azir, and Azir is able to dismount every single character off of him to make sure he doesn't go down immediately. They win the fight. They get the dragon. Everything's going right. And then you get to see it potentially in the replay, the thing that cost them. And I'm going to wait for a moment because now 100 Thieves set up this Baron. Easy enough for them to take. The Kog'Maw's got more than enough damage. They got more than enough. This is really the breaking moment. DK were waiting to throw for their moment, for their fight. They find an opportunity they think is right, and it does not work out. And it means that 100 Thieves, in what looked like a really rough situation for themselves, not able to call down, not able to be toppled by DK crew, and instead get just complete control of this game. And you can see right here, the engagement into Savage on the top side. Fnatic, I think, wastes it a little bit, and nobody really is under any threat. The ultimate comes through, chunks a couple of members. Fnatic dies, so there's no jungler. They win the dragon. They win the fight. They've got a lot. And heck, the health bars are gone. Maybe you don't even have to fight. You can just run to Baron. They try to find this with Clyde, but this is where things go wrong. Lawrence wants Lens. He stepped up far. He tries to throw him, but the flash is what baits them in. Lawrence goes in, almost dies. Clyde went in, almost died in the process. And because of that, that means Sniper and Lens, who are untouched at the beginning of this fight, really you're just able to run through everything. And again, that was what they were baiting on. That's what we were waiting for, was Lawrence jumping in, finding a big ultimate. If he lands that and Lens dies, the game completely shifts. DK can't make it happen. Now 100 Thieves, they've got full control.
Yeah, TK hit him with the jab, looked for the hook, but then they got the uppercut instead, got absolutely ran down. At the very least, you know, they stopped the soul for another couple of minutes here. Yeah. Now with 2 minutes 50 on the clock, and so while that's running down, they're also looking to run down this this tier 2 in the bot lane here. Not a many way to push through though, not quite finding anything. Sniper getting chunked down a little bit here by the poke of the Shurima soldiers. Looking their way. Oh my god, look at that. Look at Fnatic, dude. He's such a menace, bro. He's literally always just standing there. He's like waiting. He's like, you know it's coming.
They're looking to siege up on the bottom tower. I think DK might have to flee if they don't actually have full vision on Fnatic. Good attempt. Oh, Clyde has used the E to make sure the Azir doesn't go down.
Yep, look to find something. Won't quite get anything though. Dark Wings definitely needs to be careful here. Shorter Ace getting poked down considerably low. Drops the collateral damage to try to find something, but nothing really going to happen. Savage as well needs to dash with the soldiers to escape Sniper's wrath. And so with that, the tier 2 does go down. And 100 Thieves next are like, okay, go next turret, bro.
Tier 2 in bot, tier 2 in mid, tier 2 top. It looks like they're pinging it as the next potential objective to go for, even though Dragon is up in a minute. They've got so much residual warding kind of around in the shallow parts of this jungle, or like the middle parts of this jungle from DK Crew's top bottom side, that it means that they're just going to free push with Sniper, who does not have TP, actually just TP'd up here There's no punishment to come through. He burnt the ultimate. Nobody's going to be able to catch him. And now, 3 members from DK Crew are on top side just to try to punish right here. They should be able to respond back to bottom side. But eventually, you got to see him push out that vision so they can go for the dragon. Because, again, 100 Thieves now with 6k gold advantage if they grab the Mountain Soul. It feels almost like a game over from DK Crew if they give yet another advantage.
Yeah, and look at that. The old timer on Sniper is it's already halfway done. Like World Ender literally is about to be back up. He popped into this game. It's gonna be up in time for the next dragon in 1 minute. And just look at his items already, bro. He's got the Black Cleaver, he's got the boots, he's got the Death Dance. So he is not taking any damage from Ace, from Evan, from Lawrence either, really. So it's like he a big boy.
The biggest thing is that if DK really has a lot of options here, the biggest one is that before Lens finishes Titanic, maybe you can still one-shot him with some of the lethality you got on your team, but otherwise, Savage is most of your damage. He's got the Rabadons, he's got Leandries, he's got all this percentage health damage. You gotta let him set up and play in fights, which means you need to push back Lens, because his range is capable of punishing Savage's positioning inside of a fight, even after an E is used, after an ult is used. That is the person that you have to pay most attention to. Can Savage do enough damage inside of these fights to really push back 100 Thieves? You can see they're making a play for Sniper potentially right now.
Yeah, but it might have been a bait though. The Shurima shuffle, a lot of healing coming out, but there's that stopwatch. It's gonna buy him some time. He will not go down. He heals too much. He's slamming down onto the Cyclone. You on the back line. Clyde is gonna go ahead and use Devour to save Lawrence. We do see Sniper going down. Actually, this might just be it. They might have found the right hook that they needed. We see the turret going down as well to stop them from falling back to their own base. And so now 100 Thieves next is on the run. The cops are chasing him right now. Savage looking to find anything right now. Can't quite get it. The dragon is up, so maybe they try to rush it though. It's gonna be incredibly close. I don't think there's anything they can do there. The spike will come out though, and so that's gonna be the Mountain Soul going into the hands of 100 Thieves next. But they're still on the run, still being chased by DK Crew. They need to go, and they need to go now. Savage looking for something, but gets hit with the charm, and he is gonna go down. They bait him in perfectly. Fnatic takes like basically no damage, trying to find something, but might have bit off more than he could chew. Does have to go gold. They want to find Clyde. He's so low, but they can't quite get it. The heal coming up from the center as well, and so he'll be able to run off.
Goodness gracious, DK try once again. They get the pick on the Sniper. They think that it's going to be enough, but they're driven out of mid lane, and it means that they can't get into the river fast enough, and that means that 100 Thieves pick up their Mountain Soul, pick up more kills, more things in the back end of this fight for both their Ahri and their Fogmaw. Here's the difference maker. They can't get to the pick fast enough, can't get Shorter Ace there to try to smite. You saw him flash for it, but he couldn't quite get there.
Yep.
And the other problem in this fight, Savage is without ultimate and half health. If he has ultimate, he absolutely ease over this wall. They look for the engagement into 4 members with 5. But because he's low health and he flanked around the side like that, looking for some free damage, Darkwings finds a pick on him, and it opens up the rest of that fight. DK Crew has to just run afterwards. Because again, that's the majority of their damage. You're seeing the healing be problematic for a lot of the members on 100 Thieves. You've seen how many times now has Sniper full heal his health bar and just a couple of auto attacks. It's been ridiculous. DK Crew are slowly running out of answers for some of these problems. Now with Mountain Soul, if you thought they were hard to kill before, they're going to be impossible to kill now.
Yeah, those shields looking pretty damn menacing, to say the absolute least. No surprise we're seeing the Oblivion Orb coming out here from Savage. Oh, Darkwings definitely need to be careful. A lot of damage coming out from Savage. You're actually not quite going to find a kill, but establishing dominance, like, hey, this is still our jungle.
It is. They control everything on the map. They have absolutely no reason not to control everything on the map as well. You can see Sniper right there actually had a decent angle to continue pushing on bottom lane. Don't want to give DK Crew that advantage. Don't want to give them the option to play for that 5v4, even in exchange for that bottom tower, to give them a way to get a bunch of gold back on the map, because obviously they have some of the bounties that have come through onto the towers, as well as a bunch of standing gold in some of the structures that are remaining that could close that gap. So instead of going for that, Sniper is going to push up mid lane as well, and now somebody has to respond. Generates that 4v4, and it means that now 100 Thieves can step into the pit and just be absolute menaces. Lawrence is on the side with no Narbar stacked at all, which is problematic to say the least for this team. This 4v4 with no Azir is really hard to win.
Yeah, it's not looking too pretty right now. Clyde is getting lower and lower as we speak. There comes the Cyclone, and there goes the first kill. Shorter Ace should be soon to follow. Needed to back off. Won't quite find anything there. Meanwhile, the Lens getting taken incredibly low will actually still go down to Lawrence. Savage will go down as well, though, as Sniper has pulled up to the party. He's like, what's going down? Oh, that's right, your health bar. Lawrence with the jump to escape the chains, though, just barely getting out of that one alive. But overall, they will still lose 3 of their members for only 1 on the side of 100 Thieves next. So close to coming up from Lawrence just to be safe, almost making it 4 members, but Lawrence will just barely escape with his life.
The support Lulu coming out bloodthirsty sort of try to finish that kill, but this should be the end of the game right here, right now. There's 2 members, it's Lawrence and it's Evan. They don't necessarily have the damage. Sniper could probably just dive them under towers, and it's going to be 100 Thieves taking game number 1 over DK Crew.
Yeah, absolutely. They get tower number 1. They get tower number 2. Evan is just, he's throwing everything he can at him. Maybe they can find something here. They do pick up the kill onto Sniper. They're not going to go out silently just yet. Sword running for his life, giving himself the zippies, but it's not going to be enough. Zip zap, you're done, and you're in the ground. That's going to be a double kill. They'll find something, but they don't have any towers, so it's not looking too good right now. At least they go out fighting.
They do. Yeah, it was. I expected an ending right there. I expected 100 Thieves to be able to force down the towers necessarily. Instead, this actually opens up quite a bit for DK Crew, because now, like I had said before, they have multiple members that do good damage to the Baron. You can see Lawrence is already doing enough. He, Evan, and Shorter A should be able to rip through it pretty easily. And that, at minimum, is going to buy them time here to potentially go on to Elder Dragon. So while, yes, the Nexus is exposed, the potential of being able to push up mid lane, bot lane, potentially pick up some additional gold before the fight actually comes through, and potentially contesting for that Elder Dragon does open up avenues where DK Crew potentially could still be in this game. Now, again, 100 Thieves, they overextended. That was what cost them more than anything right there, but that does not mean that DK Crew is gone. They're only down 4,000 gold at this point.
Yeah, the faith in the banana might still be rewarded. The dream is still alive. DK Crew do finally find 100 Thieves slipping. They pay the price in their turrets, but you know, you found something, and so they're definitely still in this thing. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till the Nexus explodes, and so we're gonna have to wait and see. And already we are seeing this mid lane push coming down, and 100 Thieves next are gonna go ahead and fall back. Don't wanna int and all of a sudden get just stomped by DK Crew here. So we're gonna just play it safe for now. Most likely wait out the Baron. We see the GA on Sniper. Oh, if I'm on the side of DK Crew, I'm crying right now.
Absolutely. He's impossible to kill, pretty much no matter what the circumstances. Okay, that's a 4-item Azir who did, what is that, maybe 200 damage? I think it went up. I think it might have actually increased by him hitting that ability. That was unfortunate, to say the least. As you can see just how ridiculously strong that this Aatrox actually is. Savage!
Oh my god, coming in with the Shurima shuffle. Both going gold. The Cyclone comes out as well. It's a full-fledged team fight right now. Lens being taken lower and lower. They get hit with the ult. Clyde going gold in the last second, but it doesn't matter. The health bars are too low. Down goes 1. Down goes 2. Down goes 3. Looking to find 4 if they can get it onto Evan. He's running and he won't find anything. 4 going down. Lawrence, the last man standing. The old man of the group, using the blast code to get over the wall. And Sniper, dun, 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 dun. He wants this kill. He's looking to find it while he has Dark Wings pushing in that mid lane. He doesn't even care. He's like, I don't care. They go for the next. Lawrence, dude, he's hopping over the walls. He's running for his life. He will not die. He needs to keep up that KD, and it's looking like he might just survive. No, they get him. They get him.
I think they waited on the Nexus for that savagery coming out from 100 Thieves.
Oh my god.
Listen, DK Crew came in unexpected to take wins in basically the entirety of the tournament. And they're coming out and giving us decent games time and time again against the #1 seed. They're slow. That's my biggest problem. Is they haven't had really a composition or a time where it felt like they were making an aggressive move. Right up until the end, where all of a sudden the Azir's going over a wall, pushing the compound to the rest of the team. Problem is, they're unkillable at that point. They're unkillable. You saw how little damage they were dealing to Aatrox, and to Kog'Maw with the Titanic, with the Mountain Soul, and Guardian Angels up. There's just no way that you're getting through all of that health bar by any standard whatsoever. So I think too little too late potentially from DK Crew, but they stayed in it right up until the last second. Props to them for not giving up. It's still a best of 3, and they have plenty to work with walking into game number 2. But 100 Thieves, methodical, basically from the beginning of the game, taking everything off the board slowly but surely. And how are you supposed to fight them when they can't die? That was insane.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And like you said, right, best of 3, there's still some opportunities. A lot to take away from this game. I would say it was a pretty good performance coming out from DK Crew, regardlessly. But there's only one way to find out, and so that's going to get into game 2. So we'll throw it to a quick break. We'll have a bit. I think we do interview. I'm not mistaken. No, that's probably later. My bad. I'm trolling. I'm Prod gets one time to troll. I get a time to troll. Thank you very much. So we'll throw it to a quick break, and then when we're back, we'll get right into the draft for game number 2. Don't go anywhere. You know you want to see this.